Freddie T, did you run the hurdles or you just ran the 100?
Ran the 110.
You ran the 110s? You weren't fast, though.
300.
Because I remember you didn't even remember your time.
I was second in the county, and then I went to state, and them blew me out by 6 hurdles. I was still jumping. They was getting water.
Well, all those dudes run track for real, though.
One dude went to the Olympics from Marietta. I forget his name, a little Hispanic boy.
Hello!
Hey, y'all.
Lele, what's up? Ooh, what's up?
Them ain't no track shoes now. Them ain't no track shoes.
Hey, y'all.
Nice to meet you.
What's happening? Channing said you don't look like a 100 hurdler.
I thought you was about to be about 6'1".
I feel like everybody's pretty short. It's only a few girls that's like tall, but I feel like the average is probably like 5'5".
Even in the hurdles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I read...
It's about technique, Doug. You got to count the steps in.
8, 3.
8, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah, 3, 3, 3. Boy, I told you I was second in county in Atlanta.
What county?
Lele, Fulton County, number 2.
Period.
And then I went to state, and them roasted my ass.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.
Well, Alaysha Johnson, welcome to the show. We're going to call you Lele
Okay.
the rest of the way. This is Freddie T,
What's up?
Channing Crowder, I'm Ryan Clark. Welcome to The Pivot, a part of Fanatics. I mean, we have talked about this a while since you've been training with Morgan Wells. I remember when I was sending the text, I was like, what if now that she's an Olympian, she's too big time for us and won't do the show? You know, but I was excited that you accepted. And I keep going back to watching it live and seeing you speak and say, and a lot of people don't get it, it's for the hood babies. It's for the people who were counted out. You said they said you weren't good enough. And talk about the emotion of that moment, of getting to that point and knowing once you saw your name on that board that you were headed to Paris.
Yeah, I think, well, first, like, the race went so fast. When I crossed the line, I knew I wasn't first, but I was like, look to the left, look to the right. Everybody was right there, so I didn't know. I'm like, put the names up. Y'all taking too long to put the names up. So once my name came up, it was just like, whew, like I feel like I could take a deep breath. And then it wasn't really even about, like, making the Olympics. Like, from when I was a little girl, I never thought I was gonna even be in sports. Like, I didn't start running track until I moved to Texas. So it was more so about the fact that throughout this journey, I've always shown that I could be one of the greats, if not the greatest ever, to ever do it. And it's like, for some reason, everybody always just doubted me. Like, it was very few that, you know, were like, no, you have so much to give to this sport. It was so many more people that was like, I hate the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look. And like, they just wanted me to conform so much. So when I found out, I was just like, well, I really did it like the way that I wanted to do it, and it worked.
Said my way.
Yeah, like, it worked. Like, everything that y'all said that I couldn't do if I did it like this, if I couldn't do it if I did it like that, like, it literally worked out. So it was more of a, what now? Like, what y'all gonna say now? Like, y'all can't say nothing else. Like, I will forever be an Olympian no matter what happens when I go to Paris. I will forever have that title on my name that so many people, so many great people never even get the opportunity to have. And I did it with no sponsorships. I did it with a black designer on my chest. I did it with long weave and nails and lashes and everything that everybody told me was gonna hold me back. Like, I did it.
You didn't do it with your own spikes.
No, I didn't.
It's the biggest race in your life. And you ain't got no shoes?
Man, my bubble, the Nike spikes have bubbles in them. So like, my bubble popped before prelims and we had no access to no other spikes. And so Morgan was like, I got you with a pop bubble any day. Like, you can still get it done. After that, I was able to get like some new spikes from one of the girls that run. But it was just like, even that, Like not being able to go to the Nike tent and get new spikes or go to Adidas and get spikes or whatever the case was. I was having wardrobe malfunctions, not being able to just go get a new wardrobe. It's like,
It sounded like Kendrick Lamar was hating on you. He hated the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you dress.
okay.
Like you said, there's a lot of hood babies that don't make it to the Olympics. What was the difference for you?
I just think like I attached to the people who believed in me. You know, I attached to people who let me be who I wanted to be and let me do it the way that I wanted to do it. And I attached to like the love. And once I got to Texas, I earned a whole new community of people who like really believed in me. So I just attached to like the happiness, the love part about it. And it's really hard. It's easy to say, but it's hard to do. Because when you got people hating on you from left, from right, everybody always got something to say. Every time you do something wrong, it's like everybody like, oh, see, look, we knew it was gonna happen. We knew she wasn't good enough. You know, it's like you are in a position where you can never make mistakes. So it's just about like understanding I'm good enough, I know I'm good enough, and I'm just gonna focus in on that, like zoom in on that part and just hold on to that part. So I think for a lot of people, unfortunately, where I come from, there's not a lot of love around you. There's not a lot of people that believe in you around you and people that are willing to, you know, take a pay cut to help you out or just put you in another position. So like, I think me being in a position where I had that is what changed the dynamics for me.
It seems that you and Sha'Carri have similar paths in that the outsiders want you to do it their way.
Yeah.
You say a lot of others believed in you. When did you start believing in you?
Honestly, I really feel like it wasn't really until this year that I really started being like, nah, I'm the GOAT, for real. Like, I've always been like a confident person, and I've always known that I've shown and like that I'm amazing and that I have talent. So I always believed that I've had talents. But I always did track and field as a way to like grow a new network or like have other opportunities. Like I never really kind of saw me as like a track and field athlete until this year when it kind of felt like it wasn't really easy for me and I had to like make a choice. Cause like I was having thyroid problems at the beginning of the season. I wasn't running well. It's Olympic year. If I don't make the team, my career will probably be over. So I'm just like, I gotta make a choice. Either I'm gonna really do it and I'm gonna believe that I can do it for real, or I'm gonna just hang the spikes up. And I was okay with whatever choice that I made. But once I just started like taking a step back, really working like with my mental and getting all that stuff like situated, I was like, nah, I think I could do this for real.
You have hypothyroidism. Can you explain how that affects you, though, as it pertains to just your normal life, but also how it could affect a high-level athlete?
Yeah, I think like, so when it comes to track, my muscles don't rebuild at the same speed as other people's muscles. So if yours take 48 hours to rebuild after you do a hard workout, mine was taking like a week and a half. When I first got diagnosed in college, my freshman year of college, the doctor said, like, I can't even believe you up and walking because you're literally like deteriorating from the inside out because you're continuously practicing and training and you're just breaking your muscles down more and more and they're never rebuilding. So that's the main thing for me. And then I think it's just like an energy level thing. So it makes you lethargic, it makes you tired. From like a personal level, like my hair was falling out. Like my skin is really dry, my nails are brittle. You know, obviously I have changes in my voice, which is important for me because I'm always talking to people. And it's just like, it's not only when I exude so much energy like athletically, but even when I'm talking, like when I'm doing like social events and stuff. Like that takes a major toll on me too. But now that I'm in this position where like I have to talk or I'm allowed this position to talk, it's like I have to be able to balance those a lot. And it's something that I always have to get re-regulated. So it's not like you have this, these are the pills for it, you're good. It's like, these are the pills for it for now. And a month later, it might be different. You might have to get your doses adjusted. Or 2 months later, and it's not tangible. So it's like hard finding something that's not tangible because it takes real faith. Like, I don't know, I can't personally feel when my thyroid's not up to par. But you're gonna see it when I get on that track. I'm gonna be looking crazy. Yeah. And I'm putting in a lot of effort to get like half of the result.
Where did you find the faith then? Like, not the faith to have faith that you could figure out what's going on with your condition, but the faith to figure out, yeah, now that I am in this position, I can be, like you said, I can be one of the GOATs. I can be one of the greats. How did you get to that point?
I think majority, it would be the people that I train with. So like throughout my life, I've always either had like a really amazing coach or I've had like a really amazing athletes that I train with. And when you want to step away from something, it takes like those people that's with you all day, every day, that see you train every day to be like, nah, you gotta stay. Like, you special for real. Like, you have something that other people don't have. And I've seen you do it with nothing. I've seen you do it with way less than other people, and you're still putting yourself in a position to be competitive and do stuff like that. So I think for me, really, when I really wanted to stop when we came back to Dallas, I had a training partner my first time I was in Dallas before I actually started back competing professionally, and her name is Jasmine Hyder. She used to run track. She used to run the 400 hurdles back in like 2015. And one thing, like, she saw me through the pandemic. She saw me working 2 jobs. She saw me doing like all of these things while we were training, and I was still able to like line up. So when I wanted to take a step away, she pulled me to the side like, no, I think you really got something special. Like, I've never seen, and she's trained with like some of the greatest, Natasha Hastings, all these other like phenomenal athletes. And she's like, you have literally 1/10 of the resources that they have, or 1/10 of anything that they have, and you still putting your best foot forward, and you're still making it. Like, I feel like you could do it. And sometimes it really just takes somebody who's been in that system and seen the system like play out for you to feel like, okay, if she feel like I could do it, maybe I really can do it. Because it's easy for like your parents and stuff to be like, nah, you could do it, baby, we love you, da-da-da, but they're not in the system. They don't know what it takes for real. So for somebody who know what it takes and understands like the track and field community to be like, you could do it, I feel like that's when it kind of changed for me. Like, you know what? Even if I do, end up putting my spikes up in the near future, let me just give it one more chance to see if I can really be as good as everybody feels like I can.
The monetary side of track and field, and where even the medical side too, like the insurance and that stuff. I know whatever damn pills you're taking, them shit's high.
Yeah.
So like, to speak on that, where now medically you're grinding to get normal, I guess, but also like you said, you working 2 jobs and training for the Olympics. Like, what's all that? How does it work? I don't even know how the monetary side of track and field works.
The problem is it doesn't work. That's the problem. It don't work if you don't work, for real. And I really experienced that this season because my last 2 seasons, well, this is my 3rd season. So my last 2 seasons, I had amazing seasons. Like, I had amazing indoor, amazing outdoors. So I just get paid by me running. Like, if I show up to a track meet, I win, I get prize money. You get prize money like 1st through 5th or whatever, but you really, in order to like make the money, you gotta really get like top 2, top 3 every track meet. So like this season, because my thyroid, I had a horrible indoor season, made no money, had pretty much a horrible outdoor season, made very little money. And I don't have a sponsorship contract. Most other people do. They have sponsorship contracts where they have a base pay. So it's like, no matter how your season goes, you're gonna get, that 50,000, that 100,000 or whatever. But for me, it's like, I have an Oakley sponsorship, so I get base pay from that. But if I don't run fast, I gotta IOU for that rent, baby, because I don't got it. Like, this was really the first year that I've experienced that. Like the money coming in, it comes in like 6 to 9 months late. Like, so whatever I ran 6 months ago, I'm just now seeing that. So just because I just made the Olympic team, I'm not seeing none of that money. I'm still in the hole. Like, I'm not seeing none of that money from that Olympic team until October, November, December.
Damn.
So it's like, it's really a broken system. I feel like it's hard because our numbers are not in the open for people to see, right? Like, you could go see, hey, this receiver is this good, he makes this amount of money, this is the market.
Yeah.
We don't have no market. We don't have this person, I can see this person ran this time, I ran faster than her, I deserve to make more money than her. We don't have that. So it's either the shoe companies want you and they're gonna give you a number and you take it or you don't, or in my case, the shoe companies don't even want me. So they just like, it really don't matter what she does, we're not giving her nothing.
You were the 3-time state champion in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Everybody here fast.
Yeah.
Everybody in Texas can run. Do you still hold the record at Oregon?
Yeah.
You still hold the record at Oregon. Now you've become an Olympian. In our sport, because you're talking about the contrast of sport, if he's an All-American and if he makes these plays, if he tests well, he gets drafted. He ran 4.2. He was a 1,000-yard rusher at Florida when they threw the ball every snap. He goes top 10. He gets money. He becomes a Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer. Why don't people want you then? Why can't you get sponsors? Because all you've done is produce since you were a teenager.
If I knew the answer, I would know how to go about the sport, but I don't. You know, it's one of those things where it's like a club, it's like a clique. You know, all the sponsors, all the reps, all the agents, they sit around a table, they laugh, they giggle, they eat, they drink, and they know the answers, and we're kind of left out in the dark. And it's just, that's what it is. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. There's speculation that I'm too old, that because I left the sport for 2 years and came back, or because I trained with Morgan and it's not like a manipulated type of situation, that they're good off of it.
Damn.
It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around it, right? I think a little help is coming. Alexis Ohanian, right?
Yeah.
Serena.
776 Invitational.
And the prize money is substantial, a lot more than it had been. What is it, 60,000 for first place,
Yeah.
25,000, and then 10,000. I'm sure you're grateful for him stepping in as an investor to try and make that happen in women's sports. Does that motivate you even more, knowing that those opportunities are out there?
Yeah, I think like it's amazing when people come in and step and say like, this sport deserves more. I'm gonna give y'all more opportunities. And opportunities are amazing because they're far and few, especially for something that's like straight for females. That was crazy. I've never been a part of nothing like that. So when he came to me, I'm like, absolutely. Like, I wanna be a part of that. I wanna be a part of, you know, this sport growing and this sport changing to look different. But it still goes back to say like, you still have to run fast. So it's like, do I wanna keep doing something where everything is always determined on if I'm running fast at that very moment? Like, think about if you only made money when you got a rush or when you got a yard or when you got a touchdown. Like, that's stressful.
Yeah.
It's hard to live like that. It's hard to sustain like that. It's really not sustainable. That's 12 seconds to determine if you're gonna be able to pay your rent for the year or not. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to live their life like that? When other people in the sport who have produced way less are not in that situation. And the people that I'm going up against are definitely not in that situation. These are people who are making hundreds of $1,000s, whose medical bills, who's got food on their plates, who can pay for their families to eat and pay for their living, who can pay for their coaches to come to track meets. That's one thing right there. I can't even afford my coach to come to the track meet, so I'm already coming to the track meet in a deficit. I can't afford for my coaches to come to the track meets. I can't afford to bring a PT. So now I'm trusting PTs that I don't know. We don't know what they're using. We don't know, you know, who they're attached to. Like, you just don't know. Like, there's just a cloud of unknowing. And I'm thankful that we do have that option, but it's still like the Jasmine Camacho Queens, she's not getting touched by the regular PTs. Like, she's bringing her own team there. The Grant Holloways, you're never gonna go to a track meet where Grant Holloway is not gonna have a coach with him. So it's just like, I'm thankful for the opportunities and that they're seeing like there needs to be more opportunities, but it's a double-edged sword because you still have to be able to show up.
Well, I mean, you play we played in a performance sport. And most time professional sports, that's what they are, performance sports. And you eat based on, like what Shannon said, what you kill. And in track, a lot of times you do have to finish in top 3 in order to be a face and earn that marketability and all that other stuff. And that's pressure, and that's okay. But I want to go back to the lack of marketing for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the hood baby, like your upbringing and then getting into track. Like, talk about your upbringing and why that, or like why that mentality, like, why does it exist at this point when you know the sport requires a certain type of marketing in order to generate personal income and revenues for yourself? Like, could you go from your upbringing to why you think they might believe you might not be as marketable as some of the other athletes? I'm trying to say it without being insensitive, I guess.
No, yeah.
I'm trying to...
I personally don't feel like they don't believe I'm marketable. I feel like they don't believe I'm malleable enough. They cannot put me in a certain box. They feel like I'm too authentic, too genuine, So they know if something's not right, I'm gonna speak on it not being right. I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in. And I think that does go back to like me being a kid. Like my mom, I watched my mom work 2 jobs my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. I'm not gonna cry on this podcast because I've been crying all around the world. But
You are a crier, actually.
I am a crier. I'm a Cancer, so I'm a little emotional. But they want cookie cutter. And since I've been a little girl, I've never been cookie cutter because I've never seen cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people grind, people work hard. Like me and my brothers, I have 2 brothers. We were together apart, like because we couldn't afford everybody to be in the same household all the time. And when we came to Texas and I got the opportunity to run, it was just something that we did because my mama needed a break from the kids being around all the time. But then when it started becoming opportunities for me to do other things, it was like, do I conform to what it looks like to be a professional athlete in the track and field community, or do I just do what I've always done? You know what I'm saying? Like the things that I know are never gonna leave me. Fashion is forever. Track and field is not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they just want you to be the way that they want you to be. And I feel like when you go outside of that, unless you are immaculate, then they like, nah. Unless they feel like they need you, they're gonna push you out. And I feel like that's what you're seeing with Sha'Carri. Like, she would have never conformed. And unfortunately, I do feel like had she not ran as fast as she did at the moment that she did, pre-COVID, she would have experienced a lot of the things that I'm experiencing now.
Okay.
But because it was pre-COVID, where the money was different, the systems were different, it's different now. But I definitely feel like it's never been a fact of me being marketable. You can look at my Instagram and without being pushed by other companies, without being, you know what I'm saying? You can see anything that pops on my Instagram is just me being genuine, me being authentic. That shows marketability itself. I got a whole Savage X Fenty deal for 6 months because of my authentic self, just doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Being who I am. So it can never be a thing of marketability. It's always a power play. It's always who can we manage, who can we micromanage, who can we manipulate, who can we conform into a box. And because I've done everything completely different, it's like, it's either gonna work or it's not gonna work, but we don't wanna be a part of that if it doesn't work. And that's pretty much how it's been.
I would have to say I feel differently about is we were in a performance-based business, but I could have a bad day.
Right.
Right? When you think about how she feeds herself, how she puts money in her bank account, she can't have a bad 13 seconds. Because if she has a bad 13 seconds that day, she doesn't get paid. If I miss a tackle and Chan comes and chase you down, I get an opportunity to make another play. And based on my contract, it's guaranteed money for this point. I'm making this much money after this week, so I'm going to get that. And so it's always pressure to perform. 1, because you want to be individually great, but 2, because that's the way you get future money. But for her, it's so present and it's so right now. Like I couldn't imagine that sort of pressure, but I do want to talk about not being able to be in the same house as your siblings sometimes, or starting to run because your mama need a break, or watching your mom work 2 jobs. Based on your circumstances now, do you understand without that upbringing, without seeing your mom do what she did, without having the separation from your brothers, without dealing with having to work 2 jobs, you can't become an Olympian under your circumstances if you don't go through that.
Absolutely.
Not having a coach, not having a PT, all those things. And it's like me against the world. How differently do you look at your upbringing now that it's made you a person strong enough to stand on her own?
I feel like I've always looked at my upbringing as that. Like I've never been one of the people who feel like, dang, man, I missed out, or I didn't get, no, I feel like my mama did what she had to do, and that taught me to do what I have to do. And that's a major part of my personality, my characteristics, like who I am, my, everything, because I've always been that person that's going to do what she has to do. And that right there, I feel like if I did not have that, I would have stopped a long time ago. I can't name one other person that runs track and field that I feel like would wake up at 3 a.m. to be at 24-hour fitness by 4 a.m., leaving at 10 a.m. to go to practice, sleeping in the car that your coach gave you, going to practice, leaving, going to Twin Peaks at 5, getting off at 2 and doing it all over again. Nobody could do that. Nobody could do that. And we trying to figure out why I'm not running fast. I don't have the opportunities, but I kept going. I don't feel like if I came from an easy going background, I would have felt like, oh, if it doesn't come easy, it's not for me. I never felt like that in life. I always felt like, if I want to do that, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna figure it out. And it might take a little longer than other people, but I'm gonna still get there.
How in those moments can you ever see this though? Like how sleeping in my car, doing all that, like you had to continue training because you felt like there could be something on the other side of it. How were you able to see the other side of it while being in the space that you were in at that time?
It's like being in the calm of the tornado. It's like everything around you going crazy, going bad. It's so fast. Life is going so fast. But like, I feel like I was experiencing real life. And it's like, this is what real life feels like. This is how real life is. Like, people, real life, have to work jobs and they have to do things that they don't want to do or experience things that they rather not experience. But I feel like I never got a genuine opportunity to really go hard and really do what I could do. So that, like, feeling like I left stuff on the table when I was in college is what kind of fueled me to keep going. And I'm like, I know I could do it the regular life way, and real life is always gonna be there. So if I just take an opportunity to do track one more time, it either works or it doesn't, and I'm okay with going back to regular life. And I felt like that was kind of like me being in the calm of the tornado. Like, this is regular life, I'm okay if it doesn't work out. And when I started being okay with it not working out, it all started falling into place.
To your point, RC, I gotta say, like you said, just to hear your 24-hour day that's nuts. To get off at 2 and be back up at 4 to get to the gym. You're naturally talented. You run over hurdles and get faster times than most humans. 99% of humans in the world can run 100 meters and not have hurdles in the way.
Me?
I was about to say, I think I ran a 12.3 in the 100 when I was in high school. But like, it's almost like what he said, where y'all was speaking about that grind made you who you are. What if you did have a rich daddy and God gave you what you have? What if you could sleep 9 hours a night? What could you be then? Is where my mind went while y'all were speaking about this. What if you did have your trainer and your PT and everybody at your track meets? What would those numbers look like? Would they be a lot lower?
That's really what fuels me. I always tell the girls, like, y'all better be happy I ain't got nothing. Because if I had it, if I had what y'all had, if all I had to do was wake up and run track every day, and I could afford to eat the way that we should be eating or sleep and do other things and have all type of technology and all that.
Stupid.
11. Like, what? So I'm just like, I kind of feel like the sport really almost doesn't want to help me because they need somebody to have that story, like that underdog story, whatever. But I'm like, let somebody outside the sport help me. Let me be in a position where I'm comfortable. Oh, it's a wrap.
Can Fanatics sponsor an athlete?
The pivot can.
Yeah, the pivot, like
Period.
we need to do something. Like we got to get you some sort of help, some sort of way. Like we want to be a part of what you're doing because that's what our show is.
Yeah.
That's the reason we started the show. So if we can find some way to help you going forward, and especially looking at what you get an opportunity to do in Paris, we want to do that.
Yeah, man, that's love.
Yeah, your journey hasn't been an easy one. I mean, I love those type of stories at the end of the day. And then in this research, checking your Instagram, you're all around the world. Track has afforded that opportunity. Well, your hard work has afforded that opportunity. And now it's Team USA.
Yeah.
Like when you look at all of those things and you can kind of step back away and say, you know what? This is where I started and this is where I am now. Like, how does it really make you feel?
4 years ago, I wasn't even running track. Like, I was a fiance. I was living a whole completely different life. So it's like, it's not even something you could put into words. It's like only the people around me will understand, like, this is crazy. Like, this is nuts. Like, me and Morgan sat down and we said, 3 years, we're gonna go with this plan. It's gonna be 3 years. You might not see nothing until 3 years. And then it just started happening so fast. It's like I'm living, like I don't even know. Like it's outer body experience, of course. And I just feel like look at what you did. Like, when I step back and I just sit down in my bed, I'm just like, wow, look at what you did. Like, look at what you created. And look at all the people that you touched and that you inspired. Like, that last video, I was just talking. You know, I couldn't even believe I said that after I said it. I was like, oh my God, my mama gonna eat me up for telling her business. But I literally was just, it's just like, wow. And then to see like all of the comments pouring in and people like being able to align with me, it's like I always knew from a young age that I had like a lot of influence. Because when I used to cry at the track practice, the kids used to start crying too. So I was like, oh. I always knew I had a lot of influence, but I didn't know like how far like being me would actually take me. And like since forever, I've always told people, doesn't matter how fast you are, doesn't matter, you know, where you are in life, like being you, that's what's gonna stick. You're gonna have to be you until you die. So I just look back and I'm like, wow, look at what being me got me. Like, what if I would've changed? What if I would've did something different? Like, I might still be where I'm at, but it wouldn't feel as good as it does now. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing something that nobody can take away from you, for me, is like everything, because I feel like people always look to take away from me. Always look to like devalue what I've done. It's like, y'all can't take this one. So it's crazy. And I just know like everybody that's ever been a part of my journey, they just like, wow, you really said you were gonna do that and you really did it. And you literally, against all odds, like I feel like I'm defying gravity. I was floating that day.
Wicked?
Huh?
That's a song in a play. Defying Gravity, actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, she...
And Wicked.
Wicked. It's the play where it's like Oz, but it's about the witches. I promise you, it's a Broadway play.
And one of you rich. We'll get to Broadway after a while. Like, we'll get to Broadway.
I do have a question, because I've only met you since training with Morgan.
Yeah.
And which is something I want to talk to you about. What was Alaysha living the other life? You said you were living a whole other life before.
Yeah.
What was that life?
I was just like maxing and relaxing, chilling cool. Like when I came out of college, I was engaged to a football player, so life was cool. Like it was regular, you know? I didn't have to pay for none. I was put up, and then we had differences where it was like, he was chasing his dream. It kind of made me want to keep chasing my dream, and I already agreed to be something else, you know, a mom and all these things, and I just felt like I wasn't ready for that yet. So when I left, it was just kind of me being ambitious, thinking that I could do everything on my own. I've always known Morgan, but before I like convinced him to train me, you know, I was bartending, I was living a wild life. Like I was just acting crazy. But I was really, really happy because I was with my family again. You know, all my family moved to Dallas, so I was able to be around my family, around my friends, to like refine myself and create like a new life for myself. And I was making a lot of money. So I was not stressed and pressed. When I decided to go back to track, I knew it was gonna be like, one, a pay cut, but also I knew it was gonna be like a hard journey because I've been completely opposite. Like I've been not caring about, you know, my health or anything. So when I went back to training, I think I found the right person at the right time, like convincing Morgan to train me, because he did not judge me. He did not like, you know, I was working at G5 Miami. I was bartending there once I moved to Miami, and I was working at Twin Peaks, and like to some other people, those jobs are not, you know, people feel some type of way about those type of jobs, and other people or other coaches might have judged me for doing those type of things. But Morgan was like, as long as you healthy and as long as you're like taking care of yourself and doing things that are like benefiting you, like I'm not gonna stop you from being who you wanna be and doing what you wanna do and doing things that you're used to doing. Like bartending gives me a lot of joy. I love it. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. I love the mixology of it all. And it was like, I just really met the right person at the right time to help me like kind of move into my journey like an easier transition. And then when I really started showing signs that I could be good, he was like, all right, you gotta make a choice. You either gonna be a track and field athlete or you gonna be the hottest bartender in Miami. And I'm like, ooh, that's hard. Like I might need to stick to the bartender. It was so many times I was like, if I was bartending right now, I wouldn't even have to worry about this rent, or I wouldn't have to, you know what I'm saying? Cause like the money is fast, and it's a lot of money. But Morgan made it a situation to where it was like, I didn't have to worry about none of that. Like I was good. Like I'm gonna give you these 3 years. We gonna do it, and we gonna see what happens. And I was like, he said 3 years. I was like, I got a season, or I'm out. Like either God showed me something in the season to keep me here or I'm gone. And I feel like every season God showed me like enough, but not everything. I even think like even making this Olympic team, like he showed me enough, but he didn't show me everything that I wanted. Like he's keeping me humble.
What do you want? What more do you want from it? You said he's showing you enough. What is it that you truly want? If I could say, if you go to sleep tonight and you woke up tomorrow and it was your perfect world, God had shown you everything, what would that world be?
I want to be the first woman under 12. Like I want to do something where it's like, you're the first and you could possibly be the only ever. Like something that really stamps me into like track and field. Cause like I said, I've always felt like people are always trying to diminish my accomplishments or not give me, like give me the light that I'm seeking. So it's like, I gotta do something that's almost insane that people can't even imagine doing. And like, once I do that, I'll be cool with like hanging up my spikes.
How do you shave 0.3 off your time?
I think personally, and this is not no diss to any other track and field hurdlers, because they're amazing. But when we watch those races back, like, I'm really the one that makes the most mistakes. Like, I'm the one that has, like, the most room to grow. And it's just about me finding, like, the perfect balance between my speed and my technique. I think sometimes, like, me being so, like, flat fast, it's really hard for me to hurdle with that. So it's just been about me pulling back and being okay with not, going balls to the wall all the time. Like, be okay with a controlled chaos. And I think for me, I'm always like, chaos. I'm out there, I don't care what happens. I'm taking all 10 hurdles with me if I got to. But Morgan is like, if you wanna run crazy times, it's gonna be your most controlled races that's gonna produce those faster times. So like when I was at Olympic trials, after like that 7th hurdle, I was like, let me just settle in, because I already had started hitting hurdles and making mistakes, and I'm like, if I try to press the gas now, I'm gonna make more mistakes and I could possibly, miss my opportunity to make this team. Or I could just settle in and know that there's not 3 people on this line that can beat me. And so that's what I did. So I think it's just more about, becoming a vet.
Yeah.
Man, that badass hip.
What? You gotta snap that hip.
Why go so wide first?
Yeah, can I see it?
You
Can I see
doing it
one
in
more
the chair
time,
is
though?
crazy.
Kick that thing.
Man, that hip
Wait,
is so raggedy.
which one go? So the other leg
The
go
left first.
Okay.
Because I'm right-handed. I don't know
Okay.
how you know. I suppose you left first. Yeah.
Right.
Kick that thing.
You're not getting over no hurdles like that. No, sir.
That's pretty impressive in the chair, though, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty impressive.
Do you feel out of place
Yeah.
while running track? Because it just seemed like you you really brought up some of my favorite spots, G5 and Twin Peaks. But it's just like, but even like for you, the reference points you're hitting on and different things like that, you're comfortable, like you enjoy that and this. And then hearing about you talk about how track really is with those top tier people that they've been molded since they were kids to be that. Like you sitting in the locker room, do you feel out of place being in there with the other athletes?
Absolutely. Like my first year, me and Morgan didn't talk to nobody. We walked in, we ran, we left.
That's why
Like,
nobody don't like her.
yeah, like
She
I
bougie.
didn't feel.
Stuck up. They be like, there go that stuck up one. Because she used to get money at Twin Peaks.
Okay. Look, and that check was clearing, baby, okay, I'm telling you. But I feel out of place, and I always say, like, they gave me them 2 years off to, like, experience real life. A lot of track and field athletes have never experienced real life. Yeah. They went from being amazing in high school to being amazing in college to being amazing as a professional. A lot of them never ever even had a real job. So it's like, I feel more down to earth. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm more of, like, I fit better in the stands, like watching it. Like I don't really, my mindset is just different from their mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I said, I know I can go back and do regular life and I'll be okay. Like I think a lot of them are like nervous about what it's gonna look like after track and field. And I feel like that's why you get so many people that hold on even after their career is finna be over or should have been over a couple of years ago. They keep holding on because they're scared of like, what is after track and field? What does my identity look like after track and field? But I feel like so comfortable in my identity that it's like, I'm okay if tomorrow is the last day. I'm okay if like this season is last season because I know real life is like a great place for me personally.
You now have the big O, L, and Y in capital letters in your bio. I see that, not everybody gets to do that. But part of it is you have to actually go to the Olympics. And before you compete, you get to be a part of the opening ceremonies, which is, for me, one of my favorite things to watch on TV, to see all of you great athletes achieve this goal and accomplish this thing that's so difficult. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm like, can we get on a plane tomorrow? Like, I'm ready to go. My bag's been packed. I just feel like the opportunity, not just to run, like, because we run all the time. So I'm not thinking of it as a different race. It's the same race I always run against, the same people I always run it. But it's like the experience of it, like being able to put on that Ralph Lauren outfit and really like the whole world is watching. Like, this is the one time the whole world is actually like a part of this. Because people only think track and field exists for the Olympics anyway. So like, this is the only time that everybody is tuned in. This is like the best marketing opportunity for me, like the best PR opportunity for me. Those are the things that I think of, because when I got my graduate degree, I got it in sports marketing. So I'm always looking at it like in a different light than like regular people, like regular athletes. Like, they're just happy to be there. I'm like, I can't wait to put my outfits on and go around Paris and take my pictures. Like, I can't wait to eat. I can't wait to spend somebody else's money shopping. Like, I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited. I love competing for Team USA. I've gotten the opportunity to compete multiple times. And I'm so joyful. Like, the energy is great. The energy is amazing. And I just feel like when you're in front of fans who really love track and field, it's impeccable. So I'm literally like, I'm ready when y'all are. Like, I might get there early. I don't know.
And I was gonna ask, on the competitive side though, because you say you want to be the first woman in the 11. In the Olympics, are you chasing a number or a person?
No, neither. You're literally chasing just place. Like, I'm just trying to put my body in front of other people's body. Like, it don't matter who. I don't care who's in that final.
Yeah.
I don't care who's in the prelims, semifinal. I'm gonna look to the right and look to the left and be like, hey, I'm sorry I gotta do this to y'all. Like, I'm sorry, y'all gotta be a part of this, but like, it's just because nobody cares. I can't tell you what time they ran at the last Olympics. I can't even tell you who. I can tell you who won. I can't tell you who got second and third.
Yeah.
But that's just because the Olympics was with COVID, so what. But like, nobody cares. Like, this is the one track meet where honestly, nobody even cares. People try to say like, oh, you gotta get a medal. Nobody cares. They're just like, you're an Olympian now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really about how far can you really go? It's not about the time. If I win the race 1 in 14, I'm still an Olympic champ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. So it's just about trying to go get a medal, putting USA in front of everybody else and just having a ball doing it and looking cute.
That's easy for me. I don't even worry about that.
Man, get out of here. I really think you're about to experience a breakthrough, but it's going to require a small change in your mindset. I really do. And I believe you can look at yourself and figure that out yourself. I won't tell you, but just hearing this conversation and being around people and studying people who have won championship, how do you achieve greatness and get there? Working with my sports psychiatrist, all these different things. Greatness is like the difference between good and great is here. And it's here. In your mindset, I think if you change your mindset a little bit, you're gonna surprise yourself, right? You're talking about going there, dressing, eating, experience, that's always good. How do you keep the main thing, knowing this is why I'm here and this is what I'm here to do?
I've had a lot of help in mental since I was in college through now, even being outside of track. So I think like working with my sports psychiatrist, for me, the thing that I found for me is understanding that it's an experience, understanding that it's more than just that 12 seconds. Like, it's not, that 12 seconds is not the only thing that impacts the outcome of that race. And I learned that when I went to China at the beginning of the season. I was there for 2.5 weeks, but things that happened before China, before I even got on that plane, made a major impact on my energy, like the type of energy that I give off, my aura, just me wanting to be there, want to even run, and like my mindset before I get on the track. So I think after experiencing traumatic experiences and having them impact my outcome for track and field, the one thing that allows me to get on there and be clear-minded and open-minded is not overthinking. Like, there's some people who all they do is think about what they gonna do when they get on that line and think about that gold medal and put the gold medal up. They got it up on a picture and they looking at it every day and woo. But I know for me, that's almost a detour. That's almost like making it seem, that's what I'm trying to get out of one moment defining my whole entire life. So if I put all that pressure on that one moment, I'm doing the same thing that I'm asking everybody else not to do. Is define me by one race or one moment or one problem or one issue. So I think like for me, it's just about understanding like having a light heart and a kind heart and being excited and engaging with people. Like it's about the fans, it's about the camaraderie of the sport. It's not necessarily about the outcome of it. Like I did all this hard work. There's nothing I can do in between now and that race that's gonna change the outcome of that race. You either great or you're not. You either put in the work, you either did the reps or you're not. Like if you're trying to scramble right now to figure it out, it's over with already. That race, God has already determined who's gonna win that race already. And that's what I went into the trials. Like people, if you saw me in other seasons going into other trials, I've never, ever, ever been that calm, cool, collected. I've never had a prelims, a semifinal, and a final that looked like that ever in my life. And why? Because I told myself, like, it's already written. I'm just living it out. So why would I pass up the experience of eating or the experience of dressing or the experience of being in the moment to harp on something that's already written? It's gonna live out, it's gonna play out the way it's gonna play out. And I'm not defined by however God has already written that race to play out. When I get on the track, that's all I'm worried about is what I do once I step in that warm-up. I shut everything off and I focus on what we're here to accomplish. I focus on my cues. I focus on, my energy and making sure that's right. But when I'm outside of that venue, I'm just me. I'm just Lele. I'm just having fun. I'm just experiencing life. And that's how I go into every single day of training too. And Morgan would tell you, like, Morgan, we don't really talk about track and field outside of being at the track. Like, when it's time to zone in, you zone in, but my whole life has never been about track and field. My whole life has been about me and experiences and growing and nurturing. So why would if it's not broke, I'm not gonna fix it.
Lay, one, Morgan is Morgan Wells, both of our friends. You're taller than him, probably. Oh, it's very close. It's very close. But he's also, but in his defense of me calling him short, he's also, it has to help that somebody that's gone through some of the things he has is now not only a coach, but a friend to go through those things with. But something like, and Freddie talking about mindset and listening to you talk, there's the perception, right? That, and y'all hear it all the time, man, I die about this shit, right? There's the perception that in order to be great at something, to be great at a sport, it has to be your life. Yeah. Like, there's a school of thought that would say the people who are scared to go live life are going to put more into winning a race than you who are not, right? You who has lived a life outside of track and you're like, oh, it's actually not that bad. I have a sports marketing master's and I'm the best mixologist in Miami. We just talk about that too. Seems like a lot of school would go make drinks. But for you to be competing against people who want nothing more than that, who are scared to be something else, how do you not let them get the edge on you when it comes to preparation?
There is no edge for preparation, I feel. I feel like everybody's individual. Like, the only edge is not knowing what works for you and doing something that other people do because you think that's the best way to go. I think we learn preparation from experience. Like preparation, people think preparation can be taught, but it really can't. Especially not in this sport when you have one shot, one opportunity. You learn from experience. You learn from what do you do when you lost? What did I do before that race when I lost? What did I do before that race when I failed? Before I went into Worlds last year or the year before last when I failed, all I thought about was track, this race. I'm finna go break 12 today. I'm finna do them so nasty. Like, that's all I thought about. I was almost consumed with the race. Like, I didn't want to talk. I shut everybody out. And it was like the consumption almost killed me. And I learned a long time ago when I was in school, before I found out I had hypothyroidism, when I wasn't performing well, if I let this sport consume me, I'm gonna die with this sport.
Damn.
And it sounds extreme, but it really wasn't because of my thyroid. Like I will actually hinder my whole life trying to be something that I may not even be destined to be. So I just gotta let it be what it is. Like I can't change destiny. Nobody would have thought I would have made it here. I knew from a long time ago I'm gonna be an Olympian, I'm gonna be good, whatever the case is. I feel like when you could go into regular life and not have to harp on something, if you know you're prepared, if you know you could do it, if I know me and I know my competitors, and I know what they can bring and what I can bring, why would I ever be consumed in the moment? I'm not. Because I know when we get to the line, you could never do what I could. And that's just that. And then if you can, you was just better than me on that day. But it's nothing that I could have done to change the outcome. Like when I got second, she was just better than me on that day. And it is what it is. And we okay, but somebody else could be beating themselves up about not making the team or not getting first, second, or third, or whatever the case is. I wasn't consumed in that. I was actually consumed in making my outfit, finishing my outfit details before that race.
Talk about that, though, because you said it. That was part of, I thought you had planned to say what you said, the hood babies and the people that come from places that ain't had nothing. I was like, that's great. Talk about your outfit, though, because you mentioned it was a Black-owned company.
Yeah, so I had no plan. They just let me keep going. I thought they were gonna cut me off, and they're like, keep going, say whatever you want. So I did. But Human Aliens is actually who I'm wearing today. I reached out to him a long time ago, right when I decided that I was not going to re-sign with Savage X Fenty. I reached out to like all the Black designers that I ever loved or like liked pieces of, and I just asked them like, hey, I'm gonna be competing this season, like getting prepared for the Olympics. Would you wanna be a part of that? Would you wanna make me a uniform or send me a silhouette that I can redesign into a uniform? And I had actually been working closely with another designer, T. Dion by Futura, and she had made me my uniforms for the meet, but they did not fit World Athletics regulation guidelines for like how big my actual embroidery could be. So I changed last minute. I got that uniform. That was actually something that I ordered a long time ago because I just loved his pieces. And I just like hit him up like, hey, I'm gonna be wearing your uniform. I'm gonna remake it, your silhouette into a piece that's wearable. And like, I hope you love it. And I didn't think it was gonna be as big as it was, but I have been through a lot with like trying to be a part, like trying to bring my community with me, you know? Because like, there's a lot of times where I can just harp on or be like so distraught about not having a shoe company. And last year I kind of thought like, why would I be so upset about not having a shoe company when maybe this is like what I'm supposed to be doing, like bringing something else into the sport. Like, let's not keep looking at this as a negative. Like maybe this is an opportunity for me to bring my passion for fashion into the sport and make it look different. And so that's what I did. And I've been able to work with like amazing Black designers and like international supermodels and stuff like to do like uniforms and stuff. And then I got my deal with Savage X Fenty because of it. And so it's just like, it meant a lot to me because it's like, even though they were paying, someone paid me somewhere, it's just an opportunity to be different. Like dare to be different, dare to do stuff. Like it's okay to look outside the box.
Yeah.
So for me, being how I am and always being told like, you have to look a certain way. And it's like, no, I did it. And I looked how I did it and I wore the Black designer. And I could have worn Nike or Adidas or whatever. I could have worn whatever I wanted to, for free. But
Yeah,
it's like, why give anybody else, if I'm gonna give somebody promotion, let it be somebody who is excited to be with me, excited to be a part of this, excited to change the narrative. So, yeah.
You run in a very individual sport. But when you guys go over to Paris, you're gonna be an Olympian for the United States of America. What other American athletes are you excited about seeing competing in the Olympics?
Ooh, does it have to be track and field?
No, it can be
yeah, I'm excited to like watch the basketball, women's basketball, like gymnast.
Are you a Simone Biles fan?
Am I? I am, absolutely. And I just hope I get like the opportunity to really be able to be there, like share for them and show, and like meet them and gain some more camaraderie. But like, yeah, we're Team USA, so right, it's usually me against everybody in the world, but now it's Team USA against everybody else in the world. So So it's lit. Like, it's lit. Like, for once, you get to be like, you know, like, we got everything that we need. Everybody right now is, like, on the same playing field. So it's like, it's cool. Like, I'm excited.
That's dope. We always ask our guests this question. What's your biggest pivot? And that's one moment that without that moment happening, you wouldn't be who you are.
I really think it was deciding to go to Oregon instead of, like, staying in Texas. That was the biggest uncomfortable decision I ever made. And I think, like, after that, my uncle came to me. He was like, I just want to tell you, like, you're 17 and just the way that you're so unafraid of the world, like, to travel by yourself and do this by yourself, like, you're gonna be special. So I think, like, ever since I made that decision, hopped off the porch, went across the world by myself, I feel like I've been, like, so fearless. And I feel like that being a great decision and a bad decision all in one has let me know, like, there's always something else. Like, there's always another opportunity, there's always another choice, there's always, you know, something around the corner that you may not know. And, like, you can't be scared to take the risk.
Right.
What are you most proud of right now?
I'm proud of me and Morgan, honestly. Me, Morgan, Jordan Bush, Marlon Odom. Like, I'm proud of us because we just woke up and was like, let's do this. And we stuck to it and we really, like, made it happen. So I'm proud of us and I'm proud of us for sticking together. Like, there was so many people trying to tear us apart, separate us, do whatever. And it's just like we really found family there. And they didn't have to do it, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know that I was gonna be who I am now when I first came into the situation. And they didn't have that much experience in track and field. And I think, like, taking that leap of faith for me, like, that's what I'm most proud of. And I'm most proud of giving them everything that I got every time I step on the line, so.
That's dope.
That's hard.
Girl, I didn't know you had wisdom like that, girl.
Yeah.
Most time I see her, she clowning, to be honest.
Oh, you can tell she can talk shit now.
Yo, no.
She snapping to that shit talking and that
most
shit.
time I see her-
She'll get back girly after a while.
They say I'm good at code switching.
Man, them
so.
motherfuckers better.
You know Big Portia? Portia.
You heard Alaysha's story. It's one of the true feel-good stories of the entire Olympics. But now that she's going to Paris, we got to be true to our word. It's about being authentic on our show. And who made a bigger pivot than Lay? So we hit up Michael Rubin, and he has a special surprise for her. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. What up? What up, Lay? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I have a good friend of mine here that wants to say something to you. So hold on 1 second.
Lay, what's happening?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I just heard your amazing story, but I heard that your mom was not coming to the Olympics with you, and I just want to make sure you knew that we were going to help get her there because we want her to watch you crush it in the Olympics. I'm so excited for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
It's my absolute honor. I heard these guys just had you on. I heard you're amazing. I can't wait to watch the episode. I'm just ready for you to go out there and crush it.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank y'all so much.
It's our absolute pleasure.
All right, Lay. Now here's the thing, though. Once you go out and win the gold medal, we're gonna have you come to New York, August 16th through the 18th, to be at Fanatics Fest to tell a story.
I'm there.
You got that, right? You get the medals coming, right?
Period.
I see it in you. We got mom there watching us. They're rooting for you. Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, kind pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, kind pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.